If you find you're unsettled listening today, reach out to a trusted friend or go to tradespodcast.com and click on resources.
We are worker-driven, no-nonsense conversations about mental health in the trades.
This is
off-the-clock Toolbox talk.
Excellent. Well, this episode is the beginning of two new firsts. One first is that this is the first off-the-clock video episode that we've ever done. And the second is this is the first MusterPoint off-the-clock video episode that we have ever done. So yeah, congratulations on making the first two things there. And so we're just going to go over kind of where off-the-clock Toolbox talk has come from. And we started from scratch. I'm a middle-aged white woman named Karen who doesn't know shit about the construction industry. And somehow we recruited you fine people. I think Jason came to us via somebody who worked in your office, saw a post that we had put up on a Starbucks bulletin board and referred you to us, and like just bizarre ways like that we were able to pull in the team. So we're just really grateful that we have you here. So here are some stats to cover, look at what you did. In the first 4 seasons, which was the original project, we had 35,000 listens.
Wow.
Right? On all the different platforms that we had. Most of them are on YouTube by far. But some of them were on Spotify, some of them were on Apple and things like that. But that was 35,000 the first 4 seasons, for the first 4 seasons. And then since then, we've had 10,000 listens so far for season 5.
cool.
So it's still building, it's still growing. And so because of what you guys did, we're approaching 50,000 listens, which is roughly like filling BC Place sold out.
What? Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Wow. That is how many people you guys have reached. Like, it's really incredible when we start thinking about it in actual people that have been affected by it. Just some minor not minor numbers, but just some numbers that have come out from our survey that we did. Our surveys weren't very well filled out, but we had over 100 people filling out surveys, so it was a decent sample size. 90% of our listeners have someone in their life who have experienced problems with drugs and alcohol, which I think is probably true for the whole population of
like
the
everyone.
Western world anyways. Like everyone. Yeah, 92% thought your words were helping people. Oh. So that's good. So that's a vast majority believe that it's actually helping people. 95% have used or shared something that they've learned from the podcast since listening to it. So people are listening to it and they're talking to people and they're sharing stuff, they're relating. So it is actually making a significant impact. The one comment that really did it for me, that made this whole entire project worth it, was somebody said, it made me feel like I wasn't the only one. And that's, I think, why all of us wanted to be on here sharing our stories, is that we've all felt so alone and didn't realize that other people were struggling with the same thing. And then another great comment was, I have to say thank you for making a place where I can tune in when I'm struggling. I'm thankful to hear stories of success because so many people are relapsing at this time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why we can't drop it, right? That's why we're recording right now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. We can't, that dead space, that dead air it leaves a void for some people, and I'm really glad you guys all showed up for this.
Yeah, it'd be really great if the success stories become the louder stories in the whole narrative, because I think it's more common than we are led to believe, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. That floats my boat, hearing that we reached that many people, and that it's traveling, it's going somewhere, and that's a big part of it for me. Being an ex-iron worker and coming into it and having met you guys and being part of it now is. That really floats my boat, going and seeing these guys and just having that conversation and letting them know that they're not alone, and recovery is possible. It's special.
And let's not forget about the middle-aged white woman in the room. That's Karen. Like seriously, you
named Karen at that.
I have a new relationship with that Karen thing. So because of you, but seriously, you
I hope it's good.
You brought us together, and you went out and you put this together, and you sell yourself short. You do have a relationship to the trades. Past it's part of your journey that you vulnerably share with us, and I don't know if anybody agrees, but you're just like mom. You take care of us, you look out for us, all the past guests. You're constantly in contact. You're constantly checking in. It really is. This is tough. Let's for anybody that's been on the show and has shared their very personal stories. It is tough. It is a something we carry. And some of these guys, I'll tell you, have been so inspiring, but you're really always there behind us to support us and make sure we're doing all right. So hats off. This wouldn't be what it is without your vision, but also without the amount of work you put into it, Karen. Really.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. I wanted to make change somehow, because it pisses me off when there's something going on that nobody's making any effect for change in. And I can see a pathway, and it's not that hard. And then I want to jump in, and I got to make that change, because it's like, and we totally, I think every one of us love that we kind of all did it kind of the back door way. Like we didn't go through any formal systems. And I think that's attractive for all of us as well. And that's certainly attractive for me too, because none of the formal systems were able to take this on, as it was. And, even Trevor was talking about how Pain BC has an ad out right now about what's it called again?
Dumbass.
Don't be a dumbass. And there's all these formal systems like health authorities and stuff like that who are like, oh, we can't participate in the campaign because we can't talk like that. And it's like, but that's how you reach people, is by being real, right? And so that's what we got to. So thank you. It's been a total privilege being part of the project, and I feel just lucky to be able to witness it all, frankly, because I'm just in awe of every time we gather together. So, and that kind of leads me over to the very beginning of the project, which leads me to Jason. The very first steering committee we had, I just kind of rambled a little bit, and nobody really talked. I don't think Jason was at the very first one. And then the second one Jason came to, and Jason was the first person to talk. So the whole project and all of us coming together goes back to Jason. Fortunately, Jason likes to talk.
Yeah, I can't relate at all.
Exactly.
One of the things that's so powerful about this podcast is that it's people sharing their stories, and that's someone's personal story is something that you can't refute. People can give you advice, or I heard this, or I read this online, or therapy says you should do this, or this is the way to get better. But when people tell their stories of their experience and the stuff that they went through and they lived, people take a lot more from that, because when you hear what somebody said and what they went through and what worked for them, that lands on people a lot more. And I wanted to tell people, and I still want to tell people about my story and about my life, hoping that it'll help them, because it's a lot harder to tell somebody when they tell you a story about what happened to them. It's a lot harder to be well, I don't believe you, I think you're lying. Most of the time people go okay, well, I mean, he seems pretty earnest about what he's saying. So that's what I like about this podcast in particular. It's people. And it's people telling their stories. It's not just advice. It's not just therapy. It's not self-help. It's people telling you what they went through, and how there is another side, and you can climb the mountain again. So.
Hey, I like that it's trades. I like that it's skilled trades, because I hate the myth out there that these guys don't want to fucking talk about their feelings. Yeah. I hear that, and I'm like, that's bullshit. We do. We just need the right setting, and probably timing when I'm slinging lumber isn't the right time.
Timing is everything.
So how many times have we had somebody on this, and you tap the can a little bit, and it just crumbles, and they just open up, and they bring us some incredible details of survival and what they've gone through. Shawn, you're, dude, like, man, your career and some of the injuries and how you got through it and the loss you've had in your life is just, man, you're so inspiring, dude. Seriously, brother.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, buddy. But you know what? I know I'm not alone. I know there's many others out there, and that's another one of the things too. Like Karen, you can contest to this. We've showed up to these sites and we're going doing some of the promotion and stuff. And Jason, you just spoke on it there. Sometimes when people hear some of the stuff, they don't say maybe believe it all at first, but when they like meet you and they just can they can vividly see, they can hear the story, the realness in it, and then they're looking right at you and you're talking to them, right? They just the transformation is right there before their eyes. They see that it is possible. Like this guy is right here, and then to be able to go to the sites and share that with the other guys, man, it's
it hits different.
Yeah. And we were out in May, Shawn and myself and a couple of our other guys from our crew were out on some sites, and I think the biggest theme of conversation that came up was suicide. And I kind of have to go back and give Jason kudos again for opening that one up for me. I was really scared to start talking about that, and Jason brought it up because that's part of his family story, and he knew how important that one was to discuss. And so I was sweating when Jason was first talking about it, when he was telling his story. But now I see how important it is. And that was the main topic and maybe it's because drugs are still quite stigmatized and people aren't ready to quite talk about that cold contact yet, but they are ready to talk about suicide right off the bat because they're seeing their friends, their buddies, their coworkers being affected by it. So so thank you, Jason, for promoting that one and not letting that one drop with me from the very beginning.
Well, it's part of the reason, it's a huge reason for me that I got involved in this, because my father-in-law committed suicide because he had depression and he drank. And one night he drank too much and got too sad. And that's all it took, right? Like we all knew he drank and we all knew he was sad, but it just it happened in an instant. And he suffered. We all saw it suffering. We didn't do anything about it. He didn't want to talk about it. He's from the old guard of people that are I can't talk about it. And I'm okay, I'm not going to let this go by. I have to talk about it. If something good has to come out of something so terrible that happened. So I'm I want everyone to know. I want people to be oh, there's other people out there suffering in silence. That's you don't have to. You don't have to suffer in silence. And if you can't talk about it or you don't want to talk about it, at least you can listen to this.
That's right.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And the more that we talk about it too, I'm gaining comfort levels because now it comes up pretty regularly. And it does become less terrifying to talk about when we're, I think probably when we build a relationship with each other too, and feel that safety, or maybe it's intuitive safety that we feel. But
one of the best things that I've ever heard, I'd stated before, is the opposite of addiction is connection. If you can make that connection, then right there you can break some walls down really quick.
Yeah. And that's probably the most common statement that's come up in almost every single episode that we've talked about is that quote. Who's it from again? It's
Johann Hari.
No, that one's not from. It's
Johann Hari.
No.
Oh, Johann.
Johann
Okay.
Hari. Yeah.
I think it comes up in every single episode because every single person who's been there knows how it feels to have people reject you. Or disconnect from you or pull away from you because of something that you can't even don't even understand what you're experiencing yourself. And so we need those people to pull close to us in order to help us understand the very experience we're going through. You can't figure it out alone. So that's why we talk about it every episode.
Well, and you talk about that rejection, that comes from people that you care about deeply, right? And and not in an intentional way. I found always coming up on job sites, because of the repercussions of being caught or, having a substance use problem, or the things that could very real consequences that could come for that with your job and livelihood. When one guy starts to struggle, those guys that are out, carrying on with him, they start to push him away, right? It's hey man, the talk is get your shit together. get your shit together, right? And then they carry on their merry way because they're guilty by association. And so, you know, and I mean, that's one of the things we're trying to change now is that buddy system. Like we got to really embrace guys like myself, and I'm sure everybody here, when we were at our lows, those guys that we work next to every day could have been our lifeline. Like they could have been, if they were well suited for it and had the awareness and the knowledge, they could have made a huge difference really early on in how we got through it.
Very, very much so. Yeah, I was one of the guys that fell through the cracks, right? Just plain and simple. You know, people were aware and seeing what was going on, but you know, like you just said there, Trevor, it wasn't. A lot of times it was just turn the other way, get your shit together, or get your shit packing. Yeah, rather than being there, because that there's a lot of people that packed their bags their last day of work there and didn't make it to another job site.
Yeah.
So often it's people that are like when I see guys that are on my crew or that worked with in the past and like they were good and then they're starting to struggle at work and like nothing at work happened. They're doing the same tasks, but like they're struggling to show up. Usually it comes with markers, and you look for those markers like, oh, he's coming in a little bit late, right? Or he's spending all his lunch hour like on his phone, or he's like, their behavior changes a little bit. Their happiness quotient, maybe they're more angry all the time. Those are usually the times I would pull a guy in and like he's sitting there going, oh, I'm about to get lit up, like, because I've been struggling. And those are always the times I would say, what's going on? And they're like, oh, I'm figuring out. And like, they don't want to break right away. They don't want to tell you, right? And I'm like, no. What's going on in your life? Because you're bringing something in with you at the door. And like, I can tell it's affecting you. And if you don't want to talk to me about it, I understand. But I want you to know, like, I care about you. I care about your life. And I want you to do well. So like, if you're bringing stuff in and you need to talk to somebody about it, here's your opportunity right now. And so many guys at that moment, like that's the moment they break. And it's the first time they get to talk about it. And then that's everything, right?
And if you make that connection at the point that you're describing there, Jason, where it's before something has gone horribly wrong on the job site, before someone's injured themselves or created a problem elsewhere, but you're just noticing these subtle changes, we come in and talk and meet someone there, then we can avoid, what does happen too often, right? Where people
For sure.
get hurt
Well, and like as people that have been in these bad situations and put ourselves in those bad situations and climbed out of it, like we see things, right? We're like, oh, I remember that.
I can read the room.
I know. I think I might have a clue where that guy's head's at. Like, so it gives us opportunity. It gives us vision into that stuff, right?
Well, and that's one of the challenges I had as a leader on job sites is like, I had my own struggles. I was actually, like a lot of times when we talk about this in 2016, 17, when I lost Matt, this is a guy that was drowning in his substance use. I knew it. I could see it. I was the same. But because I was his boss and we had this barrier between us, I really had a hard, like, I just wanted to say, like, dude, I know you're high.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're in over your head. But it would have meant how do you know? Like, and so there's just such an anxiety about being found out. Cause the last, I don't know how many years of my active addiction, I did not use the guys on my job site that I was in charge of. Not after work, not during work. I kept that. It was like this secret. And so ultimately, I had to let Matt go and then I lose him. He dies 7 days later, 3 days after sending me that text saying, dude, you're a good boss. I understand. I miss you and the crew. And I'm like, and I ignored that text. Like I was so stuck in my own shit. And, and that's the thing. So we talk about good construction site leaders that are there to ask that question. Like the irony of me early days was like, I was the guy that was going to tell you, if I'm putting you on my crew, we got to get along like with a family. We spend more time together than we do with our own families. But in the next breath, I'm telling you to leave your personal life at the gate. I don't want that drama here. And so which way do you want it?
Yeah.
And so, I was one of those guys, one of those terribly outdated bosses that just, I did what I was taught. Yeah. I was passed on the same shit down the line.
And there's still a lot of that going on. Like when we've been out on the sites, it's even just this year, I talked to quite a few foremen or other leaders on the site that were, you know, talking that exact same talk. And it's just, you know, I listen, and they're like, I'm not going to change their behavior specifically, but we're slowly changing that behavior and those ideas with things like this podcast. So,
well, here's the thing. I assure you, a struggling employee has left their personal life at the gate. I assure you they have. And they might be wearing the effects of it, which are hard to, like, you can't mask that. But once they get through that day, which is probably the best part of their day is being at work. And then they get back in, they close that door of their truck, their personal life hits them like a ton of bricks. Right. And that's like, so like, you know, there's safety in that. Like being at work was always one of my distractions. If I work, I'm at work, I'm safe from myself, my life, my phone, the creditor, the ex-girlfriend, baby mama's not calling, you know, like, but then I leave work and man, what do you mean nothing's changed since I left?
There's a lot of men out there that are still running to work every morning with those exact same thoughts and feelings. Trevor.
Absolutely.
So we produced our first couple of episodes, I think, after like the second steering committee, because the steering committee was like, well, like, what is this? Like, I don't understand what you're doing. And I was like, oh shit, we got to produce some episodes here based on what I think they might want, so that we can figure out what it is that we actually want. So we found Daniel in the same place we found Trevor and Kale, which was a video series that was done in like 2021, I think.
Forgot about that.
Building Hope.
What was it called again?
Building Hope.
Building Hope. That's right. Yeah. So we were able to contact Daniel, and Daniel was game to try coming on the podcast. And I had no idea what I was doing, but my style is let's just wait in and figure it out. So I would be terrible in construction because I wouldn't be following the plan. I'd just be like, I don't know. Let's see
is
how
that what you think happens on construction sites?
No, I don't think that's what happens on construction sites.
No, we're all waiting in.
Just build it. That's how my grandfather would have built it.
We're all just figuring it out every day.
The white hard hat leaves, the moment that white hard hat leaves, it is free for all, man. Just get it done.
Yeah. I know how I'm going to do this. Yeah. Oh, man.
So I had a bit of a script. It wasn't a super well-written script. It was more like an outline. But I was delighted and horrified at the same time that Daniel comes on. I didn't even get my first sentence out. And Daniel's like, what is this script? I can't follow a script. And then he just jumped in and started tearing me apart on a bunch of stuff. But it turned out we actually agreed on it anyway. So
I wasn't tearing you apart. I was just being me. I can't do scripts.
It's just my default mode. I'm sorry you find it abrasive.
I just got to speak like freely. I don't know what's next.
Oh, I know.
Oh, sorry, you're offended.
Oh, man.
Yeah. No, it was good. And that's how we got going. And, you know, Daniel was right in there for the first couple seasons, helping us out. And I think Jason jumped into maybe one or two in the first season as well. And yeah, it was, and it just started rolling. And the biggest, most popular episodes were always people's stories. And that's also what our steering committee said. They just wanted to hear people's stories. We tried a couple of other episodes that weren't horrible, but they weren't as good as people just speaking from their hearts. And so that's kind of really stayed the heart and soul of the project.
I related.
Yep. Always comes back to, you know, people wanting to know they're not alone, right? And to hear themselves in others' experiences, and no matter what we're going through.
What I love about Off the Clock is like it's just like real, man. Like I don't know, it's less edited, less curated. It's just like, and usually people that aren't used to telling their story, which I think is brilliant. People that don't otherwise have a platform that they necessarily would run to or be a part of. And this has just become a community, hasn't it?
And we kind of have to thank Daniel, I think, for helping us set the tone with that too. There was a couple of people that listened to our very first episode and said it felt like you guys were just sitting down with a cup of coffee in front of the fire and just like kicking the shit. And that really set the tone, I think, for the following episodes. So way to go, Daniel. We somehow did it.
Well done.
Just being, well, that's because we ditched the script, right?
Exactly. We ditched the script.
So they didn't tear you apart for no reason. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you nailed that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had some other crazy antics happening too. Jonas couldn't join us today, but Jonas has been part of our group from the very beginning too. And we'd have these steering committees, and we started them at like 6:30. And Jonas was out in working on the pipeline in God knows where, somewhere beyond the Fraser Valley, beyond Hope. Is where he was working, and they would get bussed back to the site wherever they left their vehicles. And so he would get on the call before he's even like done, before they've even gotten on the bus. And then he's trying to give his input. I'm going around asking everybody's input on, stuff like the logo and stuff like that. And he's trying to give his input. You can hear people saying like, shut the fuck up, get off the bus, no talking on your phone on the bus. So Jonas, I hear this ruckus going on, and I don't know, it sounded like he was scraping something on the side of a truck. That's what I thought was going on. And it turns out Jonas, it kicked the back door of the bus open and is hanging out the back of the bus on Highway 1. We do not recommend this in any way, shape, or form. Is not endorsed. And he got out of the bus while they're moving down Highway 1 and is continuing. And I'm like, do you think the logo, is that centered? And he's like, I can't really tell you right now, because he's hanging out the back of the bus on Highway 1 moving down the highway. And I think finally the bus driver said, get in here right now or I'm stopping the bus. But,
they have no sense of humor.
I'm not going to encourage that kind of behavior, but I must insist that it's on camera. If you ever do something like that, it's got to be while we're shooting.
It's got to be done.
Yeah.
But don't do it. But also make sure it's on camera. But don't.
Yeah.
But also.
And we've all worked beyond hope, Karen. At some point.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Somewhere beyond hope.
Right.
That should be the podcast subtitle.
I admire his determination to stay on that call, though.
Yeah.
I know. Well, and that's classic Jonas too. Is he's gonna do what he's gonna do, and nobody's gonna get in his way. And he's a big dude too, so nobody's gonna get in his way.
Perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Shawn, you were a great one to come in. You met our project coordinator Dee at a picnic, at a Fraser House picnic, and Dee came back really excited about this guy Shawn she had met, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure he's great. Invite him to the podcast. And so you came, and you also talked right from the very beginning. As soon as you joined us, you were right in there, giving us really intelligent feedback, and you were just bang on. Like, I don't know, in some ways, because you ended up being the one that was going on sites for us. You kind of become our poster
Absolutely.
boy, poster man for the project. So that was really incredible, and we often reflect on that day when you and Dee connected, and incredible things have come.
Shawn is the poster man, and he's got the best hard hats. They get used in all the marketing, and I got to tell you, of the whole band of bandits that we've assembled, Shawn is the most lovable. Shawn, nobody, like everybody that meets Shawn for the first time has the same. They're like, I love that guy. Every single time. And now I introduce them. I'm like, you got to meet the Shawn guy. You're going to love him. They're like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah. And then they meet him and they're like, hey, love that guy. He's the best.
Thank you guys. You know, there was something about that podcast when I was kind of like introduced to it, or like, spoken about it from Deland there. I was, what the heck is this? This is like right up my alley. And like, why isn't this already out there and being done? And I am one of those guys that went through all that shit, like all of it, through my many years in the trades and through my addiction. And so yeah, I wasn't able to go into construction sites and work anymore because of injury. But this, like, just, I was right on board. I was like, yes, this sounds cool. And look where it's gone. You know, the amount of people I've met and the things that we've done and already accomplished together. It's special being able to reach out and have people hear and know that they're not alone. It's just magic, man. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And then Kale was fantastic. He's so nervous. Your very first episode.
So the hope dealer. The hope dealer.
It was so nervous. I thought you were really sick with a throat cold or something like that, because you were you could barely talk. But yeah, but you were the one that I always went to when I wanted to make another episode and I needed connections, and your family is very well connected as far as unfortunately with the overdose crisis epidemic, your family is very affected by it, and we were able to get a number of different members on our podcast, and even just you guys, like sometimes we'd be just shooting the shit after we'd kind of finished recording the main part of the episode, and it would turn into another episode because you guys were just talking real, and it just became an episode, right? So you're responsible for a big bulk of the episodes from season 2 and 3.
Well, I couldn't have done it without Trevor.
Thank you for that contribution.
Yeah, Trevor was a huge help with that one. Like, even I still remember I was sitting in North Battleford, and I was at a gas station. I got a hold of Trevor. They were talking. He's like, I might be co-hosting your episode. I'm like, man, I'm pumped already. Like, this is gonna be sweet. And no, it's been great. I know, our family, we've gone through a lot, but last month was a blessing. It was my 8 years sober last month, so that was a huge blessing. So
right on, buddy.
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
And, I really hope that we can continue doing something with this, because I keep hearing more and more. I'm at a new company now, and we have a supervisor, really great guy. Everybody thinks he's kind of a prick, but you just got to give him that opportunity. Okay. And my keychain, I have my 1-year keychain on my keys. It was dangling by my pocket the one day. He looks at me and he just kind of whispers, he's like, this month is my 10 months. And he just walked away. And he wasn't,
nice.
And so we've been having some conversations. He's a really solid dude, and man, it's just getting a little bit more open with him. And I look forward to being able to make some more connections that way to help out here some more.
That's super cool, eh? We don't hear enough about that. Like, we do hear a lot about how camp life is still tough, and people that are sort of in recovery or in a version, like whatever form of recovery works for them. It's a really challenging place to be because you don't know who your allies are, right? And so it's cool that he checked in. Karen, you guys just had a recent site visit that something like that happened with a lift operator.
There you go.
Shawn, you want to tell the story? Yeah.
Well, yeah, Kale, you just saying that right there. So, like, someone notices the little key fob just like that, something simple and small like that, right? But it's difficult to hear that it takes something like that for someone to feel open enough to kind of bring about that conversation, or sometimes it just takes that little spark, right? But we had was going up the lift. They were taking me up for a tour to the top floor, one of the sites we were on with West Group, and I had the stickers and stuff like that. And I started talking about the podcast in the elevator, and all of a sudden the lift operator kind of looks over at me. He's looking at me. He's like, I've been waiting all morning to tell somebody. He's like, I'm taking my 1 year. But he didn't feel comfortable just like bringing it out or talking or telling anybody. And I'm like, buddy, you got to celebrate that shit. And I'm like, to everybody on the lift, I'm like, it's his 1 year. And, but just to see that, he was just elated. Like, you just, and I'm like, you got to like celebrate that shit and don't be shy talking about that stuff. Bring about those conversations. Just what we need in the work sites. And, but it was, how powerful was that? And then he came, checked out the booth, and he ended up going to the same treatment facility as one of the other guys that we were with, Shane. He was with us there. It was, it's just beautiful how it all kind of 360'd around. And man, you got to take that stuff and hold those tokens high. So yeah, good on you, Kale, for
nothing against those key fobs.
Flash that thing around.
Nothing against those key fobs, but at some point, we're gonna have a MusterPoint key fob. It's like, you know what I mean? That just says, look, like it's because I feel like that's non-denominational, right? Like, I'm a card carrying member. I'm a card carrying member of a 12-step fellowship, but it's a bit polarizing and it's not everybody's bag of tea. So I feel like I want MusterPoint to be neutral ground. It's like, it's that thing you see and you're like, that dude's been through some shit. And at least is a safe person that I can confide in because they've got that thing.
Yeah.
We're also going to have Fairy Princess Band-Aids that say MusterPoint on them.
Nice.
So
That is
Disney Princess and Unicorns. Yeah.
Perfect. I like that, Trevor, though. Like, you know, like just that little, something like a little token, just like Kale with the key fob, you know, it's just that little token of like, I'm that safe person you can talk to. You know what I mean?
Like I said, people ask me about my welding lid all the time. Yeah.
Nice.
You want them to be like, what's that? Right?
That's the best.
You want people, same thing with the token on your keychain. You want people to say, hey, what's that? You want them to ask.
No. Get curious.
You right? And you wear this badge so that people will ask and open that door, because that opens your conversation.
Yes.
Right? I try and leave things like that out, like on my
100%.
desk, so people will be like,
and especially
hey, what's that?
with the amount of people listening to podcasts now, especially for me, this last, so I just got home a couple days ago from Northern Alberta, and in 1 week, so Friday to Friday, without leaving Alberta, I did 3,600 kilometers of driving with my crew. And that's that is a lot of driving. And every single one of us listened to a podcast, but I was still able to pull off 2 15-hour days, 2 12-hour days, a grad, a wedding, and I also made it to a birthday. And you know what?
Wow.
The best connection I had about most of that is some of the guys were actually able to open up, because you get in a vehicle and you listen to these podcasts and some of the guys are like, man, this is actually pretty crazy. Some of this stuff you don't get to realize until you're stuck in a vehicle for 3,600 kilometers.
Right. But I got to tell you, times have changed, because there was a time I would have done just boatloads of
absolutely.
cocaine, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, we would have cut that time in half. It would have been,
Oh yeah.
we would have got there a lot quicker. Yeah.
Okay, let's not start talking about that.
You would have thought you cut the time in half.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
We never have to forget.
Hopefully arrived
We
alive.
never have to forget where we came from. There's a reason we're doing this podcast, and it's that stuff.
Yes.
At camp, a lot of the guys had knew about my 8 years, and literally 3 of them were like, hey, hop in the crew truck, we're taking you to Fort Mac for supper, like it's on us, we're going to take you for an 8-year supper.
Nice.
But they were like, just so you know, we're all going to drink. I was like, sounds good. So
Yeah.
There's limits, right? There's limits.
Only sort of supportive.
That's what goes on up there, though, with a lot of the boys. My little brother right now, he's up at CNRL, and you know, like he's, you know, that's the life for a lot of them. But to have them think that that's the only way, or not have the lives of a lot of the guys that are in recovery, or have them see that, you know, that's where.
Well, talking about lives, Kale, you're married now. You
Yes,
little
sir.
one. Come on, man. All since your episode. So tell us about that. How's that going? You ready for a divorce?
Oh man,
You want to run away from your child? What's that look like?
it's been hectic.
Loaded question.
He hasn't been married
it's,
long enough for that crap yet. That's
I'm
coming.
telling you, there's
Hope
definitely
not.
some struggles. Like I said, when you have a full-time job and a part-time relationship, it becomes really, really difficult.
Well, yeah.
And like Trevor, you said earlier, you said the most real part about it is the 5 guys you work beside. You know their birthdays, you know when their doctor's appointments are coming up, you know when the tires got to get changed on their vehicle. But I can't tell you the next time my wife has a doctor's appointment because she just had knee surgery and I'm away at work and she's here trying to handle it with a 1-year-old son by herself, as she's literally just had knee surgery a week ago. So it's a lot, but we're growing through a lot of hardship and strength, but we're so resilient together. It's amazing. And my little son Cody, who was named after my cousin that passed away from an overdose, man, He is such a blessing in my life, man. That little boy has done some amazing things in our life. And again, there's that opportunity. People say, "Oh, Cody, that's such a cool name." I'm like, that's my cousin. It's his guardian angel, and he doesn't even know it yet.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. But yeah, my little boy Cody Lane Moth. What a cute kid.
Nice.
Wow.
Man.
Cool.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, if you want to hear about the Cody that Kale's son is named after, we talk about him in the 100 Goodbyes episode and in the episode called Losing Someone to Overdose. So, you can give your tributes to Cody and figure out who Cody was from those 2 episodes. So, yeah, thank you so much, Kale. Like that's amazing.
He's amazing.
So
honestly, thank you guys again for everything. It's been such a blessing being able to connect, and I'm ready to kick the door off the next one. So we're gonna do it. Yeah.
Nice. We'll do it. Okay, so we're heading into this new phase with something called MusterPoint Off the Clock. And Trevor's been hard at work over a couple of years with this incredible vision that blows the doors off of what my original vision was with just Off the Clock Toolbox talk. It doesn't just take it to the next level. It takes it to another dimension entirely. And I think it's really going to change the way that men in construction approach health and wellness and relationships and like a whole bunch of different things. So yeah, Trevor, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, thank you. That was very kind words, very generous. It sure seems nebulous and a little overwhelming at times, but the wheels are going now. So MusterPoint, look, let's face it, the people on this call in every episode we've ever interviewed a person on shows that these guys can do the work. We can do the work. When health authorities step in and try and offer stuff and give us these resources, it doesn't look like us. It doesn't sound like us. It doesn't feel like us. And you guys know, and I know, we just reject that shit. And if we're just rejecting shit, doesn't matter how great it is. No connection doesn't work. And so inspired largely by the guys I've worked with in the recovery and the guys that have worked with me on mine, and seeing how capable we are as human beings, I just said, like, we got to do this. That's culture change. That's, would it give a man a fish or teach him how to fish, right? So MusterPoint is worker-driven, worker-led, peer support, basically, for lack of other words. We're looking for guys like you and me that have been through this shit. That's not a nice to have. That's a must have. We are creating a platform around them so that they can go and lead others and walk beside others on their pathways to a better quality of life, more stability, more consistency, whatever that looks like for them. No judgment. That's the one thing I think we're really good at in this space, is not judging people, right? Like I threw away that card, that option a long time ago, because I'm no longer judging myself. So therefore, we can walk beside people and help them get there. Now, the other thing we do is we're workplace employer adjacent. So there's no going to HR. There's no contacting Sally from accounting to talk about your problems. We have a direct to connector method of connecting people who are seeking some support and connection with people that have it to give and have the experience and the training to be able to give that in a good way. This is respecting what peer support is done and how it's done properly. We've intentionally built a model and a curriculum and a back end that meets the standards of proper accredited peer support models. There's no hotlines. That's the other thing we wanted. We didn't want to have to call to a central operator, say, hey, I'm Mike having a hard time. Our app, when it comes out, when we launch, our peer supporters, our connectors, we call them, are basically set up in a directory. Anybody can come into that app. They can register as a user to get access to that directory. They can go in, and this is where the podcast fits in now. They can go in, they can open up Shawn. Who's this Shawn guy? Oh, he's an IR worker, this much history. This is some of the things he dealt with: substance use, depression, worksite injury, loss of family members, all this stuff. And they're like, oh, he's got a podcast episode. Now I can listen to that episode and I can really get to know Shawn. And if Shawn still sounds like my kind of dude, I could just hit request support. Shawn gets a text message saying, so-and-so has asked for your connection. And now outside of the app, Shawn gets this, he hits accept. It gives Shawn this guy's number, and Shawn calls or texts that guy and says, hey brother, what's going on? It's that simple. It's elegant and it requires oversight, but it's that simple for anybody seeking support. So the podcast really is getting absorbed into MusterPoint because it's not only a powerful way of telling these stories, reducing stigma, normalizing conversation, but it's also a very effective pathway for us bringing in new connectors to sit as guests on the show, to capture that story, and so that people seeking support, other workers, men and women, they can hear a story and connect with a person that sounds like them. They can also build a crew. So they can, like, if they like Shawn and Kale and Daniel, they can add all of them to their pit crew, and now they've got a team looking out for them. And so, yeah, man, it's cool. It's there's nothing like it out there. We looked at, obviously the only model you can look at in this space is out of Australia, the MATES program. It's still worksite directed. It's a 1 hour workshop they do with employees, all employees. And it has a hotline after hours. I'm like, we can do better. These guys don't want that. Yeah. So my goal is that in 5 or 6 years, other countries are pointing at us saying, the men and women in this industry, they stood up and they led each other out of this. And I want them to get the credit. No health authority. This is not a replacement for formal care. This is a bridge to it. We want to increase that engagement by valuing and focusing on, number 1, connection. Number 2, community. The other thing about MusterPoint is it's going to be badass. It's going to be badass to be a part of. It's going to be badass to have that decal and t-shirt and support your buddies. And when people see that key fob and somebody's a MusterPoint connector, I will make sure that they're revered for their experience and the fact that they're out there trying to make a difference, because right now everybody's lost somebody. Everybody's lost somebody to suicide, overdose, you name it, man. And MusterPoint, our workers are going to get out there and make that difference.
Yeah. MusterPoint's kind of like the embodiment of that Johann Hari quote we keep saying again and again and again and again about the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. And it embodies it and makes it possible.
What would happen if everybody saw that poster on the wall for counseling and went, right? We can't possibly accommodate really any more people with our medical system and stuff like that. So it's like we almost don't need it. We don't want it to work because that'll be another disaster. But what we need is more community-based, community-led healing. Like, people have the knowledge, whether you're in the trades or not. There's people that have been through this. Everybody on this call has something really powerful to share with somebody else. And the trick is to really make sure they understand how to do that in a safe way, because we don't want to do harm. And we're certainly not there to make decisions for people.
That's right. Well, that's incredible. That is huge.
It's people helping people.
Beautiful. Yeah, healing happens in community, not alone, right? So we need to create those opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to hear that. Definitely want to help try and promote that.
Well, you're a part of it. You guys are all a part of it. I always use the example, and people hate it when I say this, but I'm like, look, imagine a peer support model with a biker gang attitude.
Oh yeah.
When somebody's struggling, these guys throw on the hoodies and the vests and they go rally around this guy. And as we build that community, that's what it's that's the energy I want around MusterPoint. It's not your mom and dad's peer support model. It's not, it's very straight, no bullshit. We're here to help each other, and that's the way it's going to be.
And we need that, honestly. We need more of that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's huge. I've said it before, like, for employees to know, like, when they start going to work and know that companies or, that this support is there for them, that people are looking out for their mental health and their well-being, rather, like, not just their physical well-being, but their mental health as well, that it's going to go a long way. People know that they're not alone, and they're going to be walked alongside without judgment and then welcomed back into the community rather than just kicked through the cracks.
But that's like,
And what does that say as an employer, right? What does that say as an employer? Instead of constantly trying to make these mental health programs in the workplace that just don't fucking work. Instead, you're saying to your employees, you guys are so important. We're gonna fund this thing. We're gonna get out of the way, and we're gonna let you guys do the work with the MusterPoint team. We're gonna support MusterPoint, but you guys don't have to come to us with your problems anymore. That's a powerful message to send to a workforce.
Disappear real quick.
Yeah.
Well, and the strings disappear, right?
Yeah.
That agenda of like, I want you to get better so you can be a more effective worker for me, right? Like, and my company, like all of those things disappear. The stigma behind it disappears because, you know, it is literally for to help you, and that's the only reason, right? That's what it's for.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's what I really love about it, is that we're creating the reality that we want. And it's not based on any program or any, like, because MusterPoint's not even really a program. I mean, I guess you could technically call it, but it doesn't operate like a program. It's the app is the center of it because it gives us access to each other. But each other is, and how the relationships unfold is what it actually is. And that's creating, like, I know this goes back to our very first couple of meetings, and I used to keep using the word authentic, and they're like, don't use the word authentic. No guys in construction use the word authentic. And then I was talking about wellness. They're like, stop saying wellness. No guys in construction use wellness.
Not earnestly.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's creating those connections, and that's ultimately what people want, is they just want real people that they can actually connect with. And you know, I don't know if it's too powerful saying care about each other, but it's like the camaraderie, right? Yeah. Camaraderie is cool.
It's got to be rugged every once in a while, right? And it really gets the point across.
Yeah. Well, and the other part of MusterPoint we don't talk about a lot, is it's called MusterPoint Access. So there's MusterPoint Connect, which is basically the peer model. MusterPoint Access is for people who identify with needing more intense care or formal pathways of care. Instead of having a guy call 13 treatment centers or call 14 different counselors, we want to have that on lock. We want them to come to us, and we have a dedicated treatment access coordinator that's going to make those calls. I would rather pay for a guy's plane ticket to Halifax to get in a bed than to sit for 6 weeks in BC rotting and within an inch of his life. If a guy needs to get into counseling, we want to be able to set him up. If a guy needs whatever. The other thing is that access side has its own dedicated peer coordinator and select group of peer connectors who we have, like, whatever experience that person's about to go to, they're going to get a very close relationship with somebody that's been there before. So when they go into whatever modality of care, come out of that, go into the next modality, we have a clinical advisor we're working with that'll be able to actually build case plans and do case management all the way through. But just recognizing that no two people are the same, and how can we work with them to establish what's going to work for them, and then how do we make it easy? Like, this whole thing that they got to want it and they got to work for it, it's bullshit. You've worked hard enough. You've just kept yourself alive for how long? Let us help you. Let's get going, and let's do this together. Our brother's keeper.
Yeah, I think the big part about that is, like, just knowing that they're not alone, knowing that we're there for them, that the company's there for them, that they're going to get embraced back into the community. Like, that's the big thing for a lot of the guys for wanting to come forward, or even admitting that they got a problem, is for fear of fucking rejection, losing their job. And like, everything that is their, well, let's face it, fucking most guys' jobs are their fucking everything. Without that, everything crumbles, right? So to be able to know that you're safe, don't worry, you're going to be safe through this, you're going to be safe after, welcome back, like, open arms, and it's a big difference in what's been going on.
Yeah, that's great, man.
And we can't fuck around with this shit. Guys are dying. This is not where we're cutting corners. Not on my watch. Speaking of podcast, what do you guys see in the future? What do you guys want? Like, I think we open the conversation up, not just on substance use, but I would like to see us open it up to more of the mental health conversation as well.
A lot.
How many times
that
you heard of
definitely needs to happen.
How many times you heard of a camp worker lose his family and go into bankruptcy because of the camp life, and really substances didn't have much to play in that, you know? I think we're missing people and missing conversations, and I do want to see us open up the diversity on the show to include women and others to start sharing those stories.
Just about to say that. Yep. Yeah, because they're in it. They're in
at the camp. It's crazy. Like, it's actually amazing to see how many women are in the trades actually now. Like, before, it was a thing of the past. Like, it was like you would never see a woman out there. And I remember the first time I showed up onto a service rig and my driller was a female, and I was like, this is gonna suck. I was like, this is really gonna suck. And I was like, and that honestly, the relatability was insane. Like, it didn't matter. It's still a human. It's still a human being. Does not matter. It still affects them the same way. And when you go into a camp and you see, 20, 30, 40 women sitting out of there and 1,200 men, I can promise you right now, there's going to be some difficulties. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
Well, let's recognize how much more courage it takes for a woman to go and to take a job in those spaces. Like, mad respect to women that are stepping up to do these jobs, because they are carrying a burden, a backpack that is so full right from the start that I've never had to experience. I've never had to experience.
Oh, the degree of difficulty.
Gotta walk into.
The degree of difficulty is immediately higher on every level.
No margin of error.
It shouldn't be that difficult. That difficult for them, though. It's guys put them in a tough position being like that.
Well, and the irony I find is that, the expression of grow a pair, none of you grew your own balls. Your moms grew your balls for you.
And when we were conceived, we all started as women. Yeah. So let's just come on,
Exactly. So it's just like, it's a weird expression when people are like, grow a pair. And I'm like, dude, your mom grew your pair of balls. You didn't grow them.
Yeah.
No, that is a huge point, Trevor. I agree big time with that. Like, there's a need for some outreach on different points, on different aspects as well. And either way, help is help, man. Struggle is a struggle. Everybody goes through addiction. It doesn't have an age. It doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have any kind of identity. It just needs to be dealt with no matter what.
I'm really proud of our guests and the type of people they are and what they represent on job sites, because they don't just talk the talk. They walk the walk, and like, across the board, like we go out there and we set a different tone, and yeah, I think, when you start doing that, the more people you get that are making that difference, the quicker things change. And you know what change looks like? It looks like Kale with his work buddies there, his crew taking him out to celebrate his cake and getting loaded, right? Like, we want to celebrate your sobriety, but we're going to get loaded, but we want to celebrate your sobriety. To me, that's progress.
Oh,
to me,
absolutely.
That's progress. Yeah.
Absolutely. I got the opportunity to talk to a man a couple days after that, and he ended up crying with me, opening up entirely. And I talked to him every single day. And man, I can tell you right now, just seeing him, that's what got me back up to that site that I was working at, is because I had the opportunity to reach out, because he said, hey, I heard you went for supper. Is there any way that I could chat with you a little bit about that? And you know what? He wasn't even part of the group that was there. He just caught wind that I was celebrating my 8 years. And he was still at the camp drinking. And he's like, I need a guy.
Beautiful.
And I'm like, man, I'm the guy. If you need me, I'm here, man.
Well, it's leadership. It's leadership, right? And these guys, a lot of times I found in my own recovery, I needed to see somebody doing it. To know what it looked like, and to know that I could do it. I could be, if I saw somebody acting and behaving differently, it gave me permission to also act. And I'm like, oh, I don't have to be this prick. I don't have to be the center of attention all the time. I can actually be quiet, and I can be funny and not be loaded. For instance, that Kale guy, that's how he does it. Right.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm still pretty outside when we go out, man. I'll admit, I've gone to the bar to DD people, And they literally, like, the waitresses wouldn't let me leave because they're like, he's drunk. And they're like, think about it. How many drinks have you served him tonight? And they're like, actually, you're right. We haven't served him anything.
Yeah.
But that's just it.
Pretty high energy, I expect.
Understatement.
But you said the right thing, Trevor. Like, you said the progress is like, you know, hey, we want to celebrate your sobriety. We're not sober people. Like, but like, we're excited for you and we want to celebrate that with you. Yeah. And like, you know, you can argue about whether it's the right way to do it or not, but like,
progress.
That's progress. Cause like, you used to look at sobriety as like something that was on the outside, right? You were like, oh, that guy, like, he doesn't party anymore. He doesn't like to have a good time. Now they're like, hey, we want to celebrate you. It's an inclusion, right? So like, that's progress for sure.
Yeah, I mean, my only question would have been like, Kale, did you feel okay in your sobriety? Like, did you feel like you're near the line? Were you okay?
Oh yeah, no,
I assume he was. Yeah, and then so carry on. Like, I didn't get clean. I didn't get clean to like expect other people to do it. In fact, I'm kind of jealous, to be honest. Like, I just can't do that anymore. Yeah. I can't. I tried endlessly to find ways, and I couldn't. But they can. And to some extent or another, I guess, maybe they're delusional. Some are, some aren't. But look, if I could have held down my job, been an honest person, lived in my values, only done a little bit, been a good father, I never would have quit doing drugs. They were great. Yeah. I loved them, right? That's the reality. We quit because of the consequences.
Oh, absolutely, like, absolutely. And
I couldn't live.
We have to hold ourselves accountable, because at the end of the day, it's not like they didn't go overboard or whatever. They had a drink with their meal. They gave me a fair warning. They're like, hey, just so you know, we're going to take you for supper, but we want you to know that we're wanting to drink. And I was like, man, honesty is the key to success. Like, you're going to, if you guys are going to have a drink, that's fine. I obviously don't drink, but I was like, at least let me drive home. Like, that's at least let me drive back.
Yeah, I was going to say, but you're driving.
Yeah.
MusterPointCanada.ca if you want to just take a peek at what it is, and it just kind of gives you a general overview. And it's good that it's MusterPoint Canada too, just because of the threats to sovereignty that have been made and whatnot. Like, we're so Canada focus now, and I think that's important to keep Canada in the focus and to be clear that this is homegrown on our soil.
Well, Mates Australia is now set up in it's called Mates North America. They're based in Texas. They're starting their mission in New York. They've trained about 200 workers already in their extensive 1-hour workshop. So that's one of my selling features is like, do we need another country to come and save our ass? Do we need another country to come save our ass, or are we going to just take care of this ourselves, boys? I don't know. I feel like I made in Canada solutions where it's at because we can do it better. Any last words from anybody? Daniel?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate all of you, and I'm grateful for this work. It's amazing to see things grow, change, transform, right? All of us have, and so what's next? This is really cool.
Oh, mad
Keep
credit.
Going with it, Trevor.
Mad credit to you, Daniel, for being like the OG, the guy that led the way as far as co-hosting. And like that's still, I hope we still got you as a co-host in the future. And I know for me, like when I always got that call, like Karen would call, like, hey, can we get you to co-host in the next episode? I'd be like, oh, really? I get to do it? And I'd get so excited, man. It meant a lot to me. And that you gave me that space too. And so, I hope in the future we're still tag teaming this thing, and everybody on the call. Like I love that we have like kind of rotating co-hosts that come in, like from past episodes. I think it adds to the community feel, and I hope that never changes.
Yeah, I think that's a great vibe too. Love it, and I'm in.
Nice. Jason?
I'm just happy to be a part of it. Happy I got involved. It's, you wonder in your life sometimes, like, how can I affect change on people? How can I make the world a better place? And like, you feel small. You feel like you're one person and one voice. And when you get an opportunity to join something like this and you affect real people's lives, like that's what you're after. So that's certainly what I'm after.
Absolutely.
Kale, before we finale with Karen.
No, I think it's amazing. We, as a group here, this has been awesome. We've put our heads together. We've done some serious work, and also with Karen, Trevor, the kind of the leaders in this, has been amazing with you guys' support. I know that when I left rehab in 2018, I walked out of the door of a rehab center in Burnaby, BC. I told myself, man, there's got to be something that's got to get done. How can I make myself available so that somebody else knows that it's possible? And you guys have given me some serious footsteps ahead in this journey, and I thank you guys every day for it. And I'm pumped to see what kind of foundation can get built to start building this bigger across. So that's all right. So thank you guys again for that.
Well, thank you. And Karen, our leader.
I mean, the thing I can come up with is thank you for being part of this and for allowing me to be part of it and allowing me to be part of your life. And I can tell a funny story. It's funny and sad at the same time of, when I first got into this, my ex-husband, who's a tradesman, when I originally realized that we were getting this, the contract from Health Canada to be able to start this project, I had to contact him because he and I had an agreement. We don't talk very often anymore, as like once a year we talk, and we have a child together, and we still only talk once a year. But our deal is that I stay out of the trades, and he keeps his dick out of my community. That was our deal for staying out of each other's
Oddly
spaces.
specific.
It's not odd if you knew our history, which I
fair
go on to things.
Fair.
But so I called him up, and I'm like, "There's this podcast I want to do. It's going to be about." These guys are still like trying to recover. I agree. So Kales and stitches. You okay, Kale?
To agree to not.
He had to keep his dick out of my community.
Right. Don't sleep with my friends.
So not get involved in any relationships with any women in my community. Fair. And I would stay out of the trades altogether. So that's the deal. And so I had to call him up and say, hey, I got to break our deal. Sorry, you have more questions, Daniel?
Well, your community is like BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan.
This might be an unfair.
No, my community is the city that I live in, which I won't disclose what city that is. But it's my city that I live in, and I'm very active and involved in my city, and it would be very awkward if he was involved.
You don't want him. You don't want
city,
him as active and involved in your community.
No, not at all. And so anyway,
so you broke the rules.
Goodness, we totally got inside.
You broke the rules.
No, I called him for permission.
And he agreed?
I called him for permission, and I said, this is where it gets serious, you guys.
Okay.
Oh my God, I've lost you.
Sorry.
So I called him for permission and said, hey, I need to potentially violate our agreement and get into the trades because I got this opportunity to make this podcast by men in the trades, for men in the trades, talking about the drug poisoning crisis, and hopefully we'll be reducing deaths and getting guys talking about it. And I was expecting some backlash. I was expecting him to say, fine, then I can come dick around in your neighborhood.
I was going to say, did he ask you for one of your friend's numbers?
Well, like, I wouldn't put that past him. But he said he actually stopped and was very quiet for a minute. And he said, thank you for doing that. Because he's like, I lost another guy last week. I'm hanging brackets with him. We're singing fucking pirate songs to pass the day one moment. And I show up the next day excited with a new lyric I came up with or some, stupid ass line that he came up with for the song. We do. And the guy's gone.
That's fucked.
Yeah. And so he said, please do this. Please move forward with the project. And I'm like, and you'll still stay out of my community? He's like, yeah, I'll still stay out of your community. Wow. So so this is so this project had big impact from the very beginning, and I was shocked that he agreed to that.
Part of the connection.
Yeah. Have fun editing that piece.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
Literally the most
straight no edit.
That's the thing we're protecting of this whole episode.
The most trades thing I've ever
realness.
heard in my life. Yeah. I could see a guy saying that too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Stay out of the trades and you keep your dick out of my neighborhood.
There's so much truth behind that.
Yeah, totally. I want to tell you, I haven't had that conversation with women in my past, but I also don't want to lie to you either. Yeah. So
it's a thing, man.
It is.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's access, right? I mean, it's like, it's just such a ready pool of, people to harvest from, really. I mean, it's like, they're not strangers. They're easy.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Phrasing. To work on our phrasing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Man.
We're not advocating for harvesting people.
No.
Just to be clear.
Good.
You never know. These days, everything's on the internet, isn't it?
Good.
How did we get to this point?
I decided to tell an interesting story and you guys lost it.
I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because it was too close to home.
You're one of us. You're one of us.
I could not breathe for a solid couple seconds there.
I'm going to, when I clip this, I'm going to just have you on the screen just that whole time because...
Have Kale on the screen.
Yeah. You disintegrated, man. You had such an epic meltdown. Oh, man. I love you guys.
That was, I needed that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Those connections that we just had, those are the connections that we have with the guys. And then when they don't show up for work because something bad happens, those are the memories you carry on. And that's what brings it so close to home. Because you sit there and all you have is those bonding moments, just like what we had. And the next day it'll be just 5 squares instead of 6. And that's when it hits. That's the part that sucks.
That is the grounded reality of what we're dealing with right now.
No, that's.
I'm gonna wind us down, guys. This is gonna be a tough one to edit. This is a lot of gold. And Karen, if you want to take the last word, that's awesome. But I'll just say,
I gave the last word.
Yeah, actually, you're done. You're done for this episode. That's enough. Thank you. This has been a riot, man. You guys to be a part of this since the beginning with everybody. I remember going back to being a guest. I was so. I just, I knew it was something special, and I knew like nobody else was having these conversations this way, and I knew I was, getting my foot in the door with something awesome, and to be a part of the next evolution. That's what I call it, the next evolution of Off the Clock, and to like give it greater purpose. Not that the purpose was diminished at all, but or lacking, but just give it a focused, like a focused direction and an attachment to something even bigger is. That's what I aspire to, is to be part of things that are bigger than myself, right? And so thank you all for being here on this episode and helping us kick off this new journey.
Thank you.
Right on, bro.
It's going to be great.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. That's it.
Off the Clock Toolbox Talk is produced by Karen Jansen, Trevor Botkin, and our steering committee of men in the trades on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples. The content of this podcast is conversation between people with living experience and should not be taken as professional advice. For more information, visit tradespodcast.com.